Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Kind Inside the Treatment Room. Now, for over 3 decades, our guest today, Sharon, has worked hands-on with skin, specialising in compromised barriers, eczema, rosacea, and sensitive skin. For those that have had the pleasure of using the MV Skin Therapy range, would understand just how nourishing and repairing these products can be. So what we'll do first is introduce our guest, Sharon, founder of MV Skin Therapy. Sharon, how are you going on this delightful bed of yours?
I am blissed out already.
This is a little bit of a turn of events for you, isn't it? So we're filming in your skin studio here down in Mossman. So you're normally behind the bed giving the facial, but today you're getting the facial, which is a nice little treat for you.
Oh, it's amazing. I can't wait. Any excuse to go horizontal.
I love it. Perfect. What we'll do before we start diving deep into the questions, I'm just going to run down what I'm going to use on your skin today. So it will just be solely the MV Skin Therapy range. But for those that wanted to know what products that I use throughout these facial treatments, I'll just let you know. So first off, what we're going to do is go through and do a jojoba oil cleanse. This is a really good first cleanse for anyone to use. Really good to remove SPF and makeup. I've used this Soul jojoba oil for probably a good year now, and I would not compare it to anything else. It's so phenomenal. Our double cleanse, which I always love to do after that, just to remove any residue that's left with the oil, is a nice creamy or milky cleanser. So today we're going to do the gentle cream cleanser. It's got a beautiful rose scent to it. The mask will be a kale and clay mask base, so it's the mineral mask signature of MV. You can only get this with MV, and I'll get Sharon to talk more about how she sources her ingredients and what makes them stand out compared to other ranges. So when we remove the mask, I'll pop on the active marine mist just to nicely rehydrate the skin again. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of a multi-balm sandwich. I love this. This is Sharon's signature. So we start layering the skin with the Native Power Serum just to pop the niacinamide and the hydration back into the skin on a cellular level. Today we're going to use the Daily Soother Booster. Now there's 3 different boosters within the MV range. The reason why I'm choosing this one is because we have been a little bit unwell lately, so we've got a few inflammatory cytokines within the skin. We just want to calm them down so we don't aggravate anything around the nose area. Then we'll go on in. Look at how glorious that is. That's just divine. This is the multi-balm. It feels amazing. I'm actually going to be using this on my plane ride home, just so I don't get dehydrated. And I'll finish that off with the Rose Soothe and Protect Moisturizer. Once again, this has the rose scent to it. It is so calming, really, really nourishing. Okay. So if we think back to the 1990s, clean, natural skincare, it really wasn't well known. Like it was taboo as such. So you could imagine how hard it would have been to establish a range that was dedicated to being clean and a natural alternative. What was the moment that made you question conventional skincare?
A client of mine who developed a really nasty reaction that hospitalised her.
Oh,
Yeah. And then,
from skincare?
yeah, it was a new product she tried and a multi-level marketing brand from America. And she ended up in Royal North Shore Hospital. And they just told her to stop using everything that including a new cream, and to just go and buy some sorbelline cream from the pharmacy. And that's what she did. So not long out of hospital, she tried the sorbelline cream the next day, and within no time at all had started to react to that as well. So she has to call her sister to drive her to hospital, and so that was the second time she was admitted to hospital. And at the end of the day, they classified it as a cosmetic burn, but said it was highly likely, given the simplicity of sorbelline cream, that she was reacting to the mineral oil and it might have developed a petrochemical sensitivity. So this lady came to me and said, "Can you find something that's petrochemical free?" I said yes. Thought it would be quite easy. I've been working with brands I consider to be natural. They all came back one by one and said everything contains petrochemicals. And it was really the one company that didn't want to answer my questions and asked me why I wanted to know, and got really a bit shady and difficult about it all. That forced me then to ask deeper questions about the ingredients in skincare. And I was introduced to a guy who just finished a book about the toxic ingredients in personal care, cleaning products, skincare. And that was a massive education I wasn't expecting, and it blew my mind, really. And that was the beginning of me questioning ingredients and mainstream skincare. And then Essential Oil Supplier said that a man was coming from Melbourne to do a workshop in making natural petrochemical-free skincare, and did I want to attend the workshop? And I said no, because my daughter was a toddler and it's a really difficult time. And it was really only the last minute my partner said, just go and do that workshop, get out of the house, you need some time. So off I went, and honestly, what he had to say kind of blew my mind. I bought all the little bits and pieces and the raw materials and came home and didn't think for a minute I could replicate the cream. I just didn't have any belief in little old me in the kitchen being able to pull something like that off, but I did. And the woman thought the cream was fantastic. She said her dermatologist was incredibly impressed with the improvement in her skin. And really within 6 months, I was making that cream for her sister, her mother, all the women in my mother's group with kids with eczema. Then my clients all wanted to know what it was all about. And I started adding essential oils and customizing the cream, and that's how that all came about, quite by accident. But certainly once I knew what I knew and was aware of these ingredients that were potentially pretty harmful to us as human beings, and the absorption factor that honestly hadn't dawned on me until then, I realised that long term I didn't want to put any of these things on my own skin.
No.
So that's when I developed more products in the range, and within a few years, I launched MV with just 12 products, and even to this day I think there are 17 or 18 products in the range. It's very small. I'm all about minimalism and less is more. And that makes me an outlier in the beauty industry, because they're all about maximalism, more and more and more. Bigger ranges, huge long ingredient lists. Because I've worked with naturopaths and in the field of complementary health for a long time, I'm really about using ingredients in their therapeutic doses. So fewer ingredients, higher concentration for a therapeutic outcome. And because I have so many clients with difficult skin conditions, they really need to see results. So my product is first and foremost a health product that delivers results. And back then, the term green beauty, clean beauty didn't exist. No one uttered those words. And people complained about my aluminium bottles and thought I should be using glass or plastic. And when I explained that aluminium was infinitely recyclable and it was good for the environment, people thought I was bonkers. Like, nobody was talking about the environment. Nobody was interested in recycling or anything like that. I also had learnt a lot about plastics and estrogen mimics, phthalates, and what estrogen disruption can do for us, or how it can impact us negatively. And I just didn't want to use plastic. And glass was very heavy. And I had a little toddler, and I thought, that's all going to shatter in the bathroom and cause all kinds of problems. As one beauty editor said to me a long time ago, back in the early 2000s, the problem is, Sharon, you're ahead of your time, and you don't believe in the big marketing machine. You don't want to scale and get really big. You're probably going to last about 2 years max, and then you'll just go out of business. Because that's the statistic. It's unlikely you'll survive. And I just thought to myself, you just watch me.
It's a beautiful introduction to how you started out in the beauty world, that's for sure. Tell me a little bit more about, what was it like in the 1990s as in the beauty world, because we've come such a way. It's so different now to how we treat skin. What was it like back then?
Oh, it was another world, completely.
A bit more hands-on?
It was very hands-on, and it was just your cleanse, tone, cleanse and scrub. Just the granular scrubs were everywhere, and massage, a mask, while the steam was blowing at you, and most people wanted an eyelash tint at exactly the same time. So while the mask was on, you were lash tinting, brow tinting, You might be giving them a bikini wax.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you had to really multitask
Yeah.
the whole way through a facial. I certainly worked in salons where you had to do all kinds of things while the mask was on.
Okay. That's an interesting concept.
Including waxing, yes.
Yeah.
But it was very much a surface situation. And certainly we weren't trained in depth. And the kind of machinery that was around then was so simple.
Yeah.
I thought that the industry would move very much towards natural ingredients, that the whole idea of the toxicity, poisoning of us really would get through to general media, and that eventually a lot of big companies would move to far more natural ingredients. And I couldn't have been more wrong about how it all moved forward after that.
Yes, it definitely got a lot worse.
Yeah, and the introduction of glycolics in the, certainly when I came out of college, I saw the destruction firsthand on myself, that the trauma, the devastation of glycolic on a 20-something-year-old fair English skin, and on many of the people that we tried it on. It was pretty brutal stuff. And there was a lot of peeling and scrubbing and a lot of alcohol and toning lotions. It was very different. Then as the time moved on, machinery really started to come into its own. LED and a lot of microdermabrasion and enzyme peels, herbal peels. Just a lot of different kinds of laser equipment.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And it it became far more sophisticated. Whereas I was all about skin health, and I was working with naturopaths a lot, so my focus wasn't on the term anti-aging. It was about health and general longevity and how you felt about yourself. The world we live in now with clinics and it's all machinery, in and out in 20 minutes. But the entire procedure conducted with rubber gloves on, I find really cold and personal.
Very cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the beauty industry since 2010, and just in that short period of time, I've seen such a dramatic change in my clients' skins that have come to see me over the years. What are your thoughts on the main causes as to why so many people are becoming more and more sensitive and have reactive skins?
Because people are still, when I started out, it was a very squeaky clean, lots of foaming cleansers, alcohol toners, which in their own way are very disruptive to the hydrolipid barrier. But really, after that, with the rise of retinols and a lot of other actives in products used inappropriately on all kind of skin type and condition, I ended up having a never-ending stream of people with sensitivity created by inappropriate products and treatments. So obviously there are two forms of sensitivity. The systemic that comes from within, where it's often hereditary, or you're predisposed to eczema or psoriasis, for example. But what I found was so many people were presenting with man-made sensitivity.
Yes.
Highly traumatized skin from a course of 6 peels, a course of microdermabrasion.
Sometimes combined together.
Sometimes
as
combined.
Well. Yeah.
And then taking home quite aggressive products, and people just thinking it was normal to exfoliate 3, 4, 5 times a week. And my message about the skin's natural defences, the natural barrier, were really met with raised eyebrows. I think a lot of even the beauty editors thought, oh, she's really a bit over the top. But I did convert one very well-known beauty editor early on, and that had a ripple effect in Sydney at the time. So a lot of beauty editors came to me after that. She had very bad rosacea, travelled a lot with one of the biggest magazines really that we knew, and had tried all the latest treatments out of America for her condition, and nothing worked. And most of the products she tried made it worse. So when she first presented to me in my little clinic in Double Bay, her skin was a mess. It was really one of the worst cases of rosacea I'd seen.
Okay.
And she just said, I had to try as a beauty editor every product known to man.
Of course, yeah.
And now I have to pass on all the products to the juniors, and I can't try anything myself for obvious reasons. And she was quite nervous about having the facial with me because She had tried everything, and she was terrified for people to put their hands on her skin because with rosacea, of course, you can't use deportment, kneading. You've got to be really gentle and not introduce too much heat, too much stimulation. And when she got up off the bed and looked herself in the mirror, she was shocked. She said, I've never in my life got off the bed from a facial and looked in the mirror and thought, wow, look how calm my skin is. So I kind of sold her on the first day.
As you do with all of your knowledge with skin and how you treat it.
That less is more approach. She said herself, it's not what the mainstream industry teaches. No. Her spouses, even some of the people who came to see me with quite significant problems, they'd come back and see me for another facial 6 weeks later, and I'd see there was still quite a bit of trauma, and I'd say, oh, I just felt like I still had to use my glycolic.
They can't help themselves.
Oh no, it's tough.
All that hard work. Oh gosh. I mean, I strongly believe that with our skin, it shows up what our internal health and well-being is, right? Like our skin is a big mirror as to what's happening internally. What do you see like with skins, in your clients' skins, that show up that are like, yes, I can definitely see there's something happening internally here? What shows up on the skin for you?
Well, I mean, a lot of breakout. I mean, I do see quite a few people with PCOS as well. Hormone disruption, and then women with their teenagers to me who quite clearly be going berserk on the junk food and the sugar. And so their skins are pretty pimply and congested. I'm trying to explain to them not to strip their skin and scrub it. That's a real tough gig with a teenager. But also I see, again, like a lot of women who have really sensitized skin from the environment they're in and from overdoing, well, the stress really, and lack of sleep. People who are stressed, adrenally exhausted, a lot of skins that look very kind of dull and lifeless. There's just so many different negatives going on in the world, I think, because of what we're exposed to and the stress levels and what have you.
Yeah, that toxic overload,
definitely. Yeah, that affects our adrenals and also our hormones. And as soon as our hormones are out of balance, then the skin reacts.
Yeah.
I see women as well with perimenopause who say they've had good skin their whole life and now they don't know what to do. They feel like a teenager. And so it's very much about helping them to build confidence through calming their skin, desensitizing it, and then strengthening it. So I have a simple sort of system where it's all about desensitizing it first, and then balancing and strengthening the skin to get it to a state where we can nourish it more deeply and use some of the more targeted MV products.
Okay.
So I keep it very simple to begin with, like an elimination diet. The fewer things you put on your skin, when you're trying to really desensitize it, the better. And then introducing one more MV product at a time.
Yeah.
And then it's very easy, like with an elimination diet where you reintroduce one food group at a time to see how the skin is tolerating that. And the challenge has always been to get people just to use just 2 or 3 products.
Yes.
For at least, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks until I see them again. But there's little tips where I look giving these tips to sensitive people, particularly because for new people who do the shower shield with the jojoba, I always say cleanse at the sink or in the shower with a gentle cream cleanser, and then 2 or 3 drops of jojoba smoothed over your face and neck. Then in the shower, think of the jojoba as a shower shield for your sensitivity. Just the nozzle of the shower head a little bit, so the water doesn't gush over your face, it just trickles while you're washing your hair. And then when you emerge, pat your skin dry and then carry on with your lovely Nourish Skin Day products. And what people will always say to me is that they're so used to emerging from a shower dry, tight, red, blotchy, irritated. And by using the jojoba as a shower shield, that reduces that enormously. So that's a game changer for people with true sensitivity.
Definitely. So we're just going to pause here and just ask Sharon how her skin's feeling. We're just taking off the mineral mask now. How does your skin feel after we've done that?
It feels really good.
Beautiful, very clarified, but still, as you said, not stinging, not dry, not stripped. Beautiful.
It's amazing to think how far we have come now with regards to those old days of scrubbing and peeling.
Skin barrier is definitely, there's a lot more knowledge about it now, so people are a bit more aware as to what it is and how to protect it. When we first spoke about the range, you shared with me how you source a lot of your ingredients within the range, and it's quite interesting having that conversation around ingredient manufacturing. So talk to us more about like why you use the specific ingredients you do and how you source it.
Yes, well, again, in the early days working with naturopaths and a doctor of environmental medicine, it was really important that when they were sending people to me with chronic sensitivity and quite severe skin issues, that I was using the purest ingredients I could find. So I was naturally starting to source organic, but it wasn't that readily available. But I was trying my hardest to source organic as much as possible.
Yeah.
But what I discovered that there were certain ingredients, particularly price prohibitive ones like rose essential oil, that were routinely adulterated. So I ended up finding my own source of rose dabasina from Bulgaria.
Okay.
And then after that, there was quite a bit of a problem with the French clays. Clays globally were found to have arsenic contamination. And I actually flew to Europe, to France, and visited a quarry that was third generation family owned, but also had state-of-the-art processing, and they had a beautiful white kaolin French clay that was guaranteed to be free of arsenic contamination.
Okay.
And so I met the family, and to this day I still buy from them direct in France and have it shipped to Australia. And that gives me a lot of peace of mind because Azure Signature Mask is a real hero product for sensitivity and wonderful in the treatment. And then, a few years later, I was back in France and I went to the Liboron region and literally begged this woman to sell me her single origin French lavender. So that Provence region is famous for its lavender, but this lady in particular who inherited the business from my father, they had their own lavender fields and they processed only their lavender in a particular batch, and then other farms from fields from miles and miles around on another day would bring all of their lavender and have that processed, and it would often be a combination of different farmers all joined together, blends of the same variety of lavender, whereas her lavender from her family farm was single origin, so it's only her lavender, no one else is mixed. And I've never smelt anything so utterly divine. But she didn't really want to send it to Australia. So I had to kind of plead with her and tell her we would do all the DHL paperwork and make everything as easy as possible. So all she had to do was sign a few forms and the man would come. And honestly, the drivers in that area of Lulu, you take your life in your hands. They're the tiniest little roads that wind in zigzags all the way through the valley. So it's not an easy journey for a DHL truck, let me tell you. It really isn't. That's where the lavender comes from. And I'm just fanatical about ingredients because it's like when you go to a fast food restaurant, you know what you're getting and it's priced accordingly. And when you go to an organic restaurant, a really high-end restaurant where they're sourcing really beautiful ingredients, and it's a quite well-known chef, that chef is really obsessed with the ingredients and they matter enormously. And I'm kind of like that. I'm like a crazy chef, but for the skin food. And that's my thing I will never compromise on. So that's why I source the ingredients. That's why to this day I still I have to approve every batch of product that's made.
Yes.
I have the nose, I have to smell everything, test the viscosity, the colour, the aroma, everything. So the quality control at the very end of the line comes down to me.
Wow.
And so every single batch is approved, signed off by me, unless I'm overseas. And then my second in charge, my second nose,
Your second nose.
gets to do that. Yeah, so the quality matters enormously, and I think that's why I've still got clients to this day, 26 years on, who are still using MV.
And talk to me about like the way that different essential oils can be sourced. Now, when we spoke about this when you came down to Burleigh, it blew my mind because I did not know that there were different ways that they could be sourced, but also the naturally derived essential oils compared to the organic essential oils.
Yes, so with essential oils, the pure and natural and the organic, not harvested, are always at the top of the pile, so to speak. But there are also a lot of essential oils now that are really very low grade, low quality, that are meant for soaps, diffusers, room fresheners, laundry sprays, that are making their way into mainstream skincare because they're so cost effective, they're so cheap. And also white label and private label manufacture has gone through the roof. And that's how they make more money. They buy as cheap as possible.
As cheap as possible, yes.
And in some cases, they might even buy nature identical lavender, which has been reproduced in a laboratory and has never seen a lavender plant. And the way they sell that as a positive to people who own skincare companies like me is that you get a consistent aroma every single time.
Okay.
But it hasn't seen the plant. It hasn't grown and like a normal plant with the life force of the plant. So for me, why would I buy? Yes, it's a sixth of the price, but why would I put something in my beautiful products that I've never even seen
exactly.
the sun and the growth through the earth?
It just doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But also what is amazing is that the nature identical lavender has the same name on the packaging, the same inky name, whatever variety. That's the main variety of lavender most people are familiar with. So if the law states that you can do that, there's something wrong with our laws.
Definitely.
But it's only because of my research that I know these things. The general public generally has no idea. And what's happened over the many years of the growth of private label brands is the more low-grade essential oils that have been used, the more reactions the public's having. And then essential oil-based products get a terrible name. And people will reach out to us for the first time and say, we've heard great things about your brand, but I don't want to use anything with essential oils in it. You know, I have a really sensitive skin.
Yeah.
Well, I've been treating sensitive skin for 26 years, and trust me, the quality of the essential oils I use, you will not react to them.
No, and you don't.
But it serves the large commercial brands to speak badly of essential oils and what they call fragrances, because they don't want to have to change all of their formulas. It's much easier to spend a bit of money publishing articles that say quite negative things about essential oils.
That's it. It's very PR marketed based, isn't it?
But also all the brands that are private label, white label, those people who own those companies, they have no control over where the essential oils and raw materials come from their product. It's the person who owns the contract manufacturer who decides that. And that's why I don't use contract manufacturers anymore. I have my own manufacturing facility, because when I asked for proof of where the raw materials were coming from, there's no way they were going to give me that.
Yeah.
So if there's no transparency with regards to quality and purity, then why would I do that? So, yeah, I can sleep at night because I have my own manufacturing facility.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all controlled by me.
Oh, that's perfect. One of MV's core philosophies is turning skincare into a ritual. You know, that mundane task of cleansing your face, as you mentioned. How do you turn that into such a sensory experience?
That was such an important part of my early learning that I didn't even realize I was doing. While I was experimenting with aromatherapy, I was reading books by famous aromatherapists from America and from Europe, and it was really obvious that how they were applying the products and removing them, and the way they were using their hands, and unlike that classic beauty industry instruction of pat the products in.
Yes.
There was no patting. No. They were like using the full relaxed palms of their hands, and it's like giving yourself a hug.
It is, isn't it?
Massaging the products in, giving yourself a hug. And I really started to apply the products to myself at the end of my day a little differently, and using a warm compress to cleanse. I'd always just tissue cleanser off and used a toning lotion, or sponged them off and used a toning lotion, and this sort of transformed my idea of cleansing. Instead of it being a chore, with the warm compress, because the heat was affecting the essential oils of the cleanser and making them airborne, I was taking deep breaths because I could really, really smell the essential oils, and it was encouraging me to slow down as a therapist within myself and within my treatments. And so I took out a lot of deportment, kneading, and started using just effleurage movements, slowing down and turning my own treatment into far more of a deeply relaxing and nurturing ritual for my clients, and then doing it on myself in the bathroom. And so at the end of my busy day, I would just say to my partner, okay, your turn now with Tess, and I'm just going to do my thing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so do not disturb.
Which is such a good routine to do for anyone, but especially as a skin therapist, because you take on a lot of the energy from your clients and you give so much to your clients. So to just have that 60 seconds of downtime for yourself in that bathroom is amazing.
Oh, I just so looked forward to it. I really did. And the more time at the same time, I have to point out too, I had met a beautiful woman who became my yoga teacher, and she was also a massage therapist, and she taught me so much about myself and my body and about touch. And it was just the way I gave her a facial. She helped me transform that, and it was just over a period of maybe a couple of years, my standard facial, which was already a very tactile and relaxing treatment, it turned into something that really my clients were all being blown away by.
It's heavenly.
It's like a nervous system treatment as well. So it's really a total skin and body healing experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm all about, treating the whole body's nervous system, not just from the neck up.
Exactly, definitely. Where do you see the future of skincare? Will we move back towards that simplicity of massaging and effleuraging and using our hands, or do you feel like it's just rolling forward into that machine modality?
I think there are a lot of people now who are embracing ritual and slowing down, because we live in a very different world because of technology. The fast pace, the screen time, the attention span we have has all been affected by technology. So people realize they're having to put a lot of more thought and effort into slowing down and doing nothing. And they're having to do that for their own mental health and well-being. And I think the benefit of it, and the amount of people talking about the benefit of ritual, is bringing that to the fore so that it's a more mainstream concept.
Yes.
And there will always be the parts of the mainstream industry who are just about quick fixes and about machinery and using some of those very aggressive products at home. And I think as humans, we are swayed very much by marketing.
Oh, are we just?
Very.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes something that happens in our life that's significant to force us to stop and slow down and take a check. But I just think generally more people around are waking up to self-care and self-awareness.
Oh.
And if we don't look after ourselves, who else is going to do it?
Exactly. We really have to give more to ourselves, definitely. I do agree with that. I think a lot of what we've spoken about today is so important for everyone to hear. And I really appreciate you coming on and just explaining a little bit more about how clean natural skincare has evolved, but more about the MV skincare line, because I do feel like it's a range where every type of skin and every skin concern can benefit from. So I do really appreciate you coming on today, and I hope you enjoyed your facial as well. It's nice to be on the opposite side of the bed, isn't it?
I've loved it, Danny. Thank you so very much.
You're most welcome. And for those that wanted to look more into the MV Skin Therapy range, you can purchase those at the Clean Beauty stores in Burleigh and Bondi in Australia. If you are overseas or you're out of reach from those stores, you can purchase them online as well. Perfect, Sharon. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.